Hello, everyone. I'm Polly Wirum, and I have a very special guest. I always have special guests, but this is a very, very special guest today. I'm super excited. I had been following him on Instagram and his creations, and very intrigued by them. Because for me, it's really important to connect with people that um, I feel them, like a similar place in their heart. For example, Ellie, who I did a while back, like people that I really feel like I'll say, for lack of a better word, soul connection. So I was really excited to learn more about what this guy does. So his name is Doni Amoris. Lives in Tokyo, Japan, and I just want to find out everything about him. So welcome, Donnie.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be with you. Thank you, Polly, for connecting and inviting me to your space.
Absolutely. Hey, now this is off topic, right off the bat, off topic. But your English is impeccable. So, how did that come to be?
Well, I grew up in Germany and then I started to learn my English when I moved to the US from maybe about 24 years old. And I finished my art college degree in the US and then moved to Japan. So now English is, I think, my preferred language.
Oh, is it interesting? Very interesting. Yeah, your English is impeccable. There's a hint of an accent, but it's amazing. Which makes it lovely for me because sadly I'm one of those Americans that is not. I don't know a bunch of other languages, so that can always change. But now I want to hear more about you. So, what you feel like to me is that you connect on a very spiritual. I guess here's the way I would say it: you connect on a level where we have the ability to, you know, we have the ability to put our awareness in a place void of suffering, um, void of pain. We have the ability to put ourselves there, and yet sometimes we come back here where we have a little mixture. But to me, you feel like you are aware of that space. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, we're all human beings, so we all have emotions and experiences. Some of them are maybe a little bit more difficult than others. What depends is how we deal with what we experience, right? And where does our focus go to? And, of course, I had to deal with my own problems too. But for me in my life, we have always a choice. So what do we focus on? And for me, it was very clear. I want to emphasize that what works and that what is beautiful to me. So it was very clear that I didn't want to, start a 9 to 5 job at a company. I wanted to do my own thing. So what I did then was to start develop my own art, to create the soul images, create my healing scars, and to connect with people on a deeper level, which, as what you're doing too, it's just so beautiful to see that shift in people when they go through their transformation and they're having just so much gratitude for being alive and having had this support and this guidance, which often comes through us as the channel, uh, either when we channel the spirit guides or when in my case, I also do kind of transfer a lot of energy through my art to the other side, to the other person. So yeah, we're all human being, and we can all hold each other's hand. And I feel that's why we're connected too, because we have the kind of same frequency. We're gonna hold each other's hands in a energy way.
Absolutely. And invite others to join us. I think that that's the other piece, right? Is we're constantly inviting others to join us. Um, because that's what makes it work, right?
That's true, yeah. And everyone who's watching right now, I know, it's like we we might not see you right now, but we are with you in spirit. We can connect with you. We know that you're there. We appreciate you. And I mean, the spiritual work is just like so in alignment with being online, I guess, because it's all in spirit. It's not about being physically somewhere. Yeah,
Yep.
being physically in the same space, sometimes it would be great to hug each other. I love hugs. How about you, Polly? I mean, I'm
I,
sure the work has transformed, and I'm sure you love hugs and all that too, but how's it for you?
well, it's really, I mean, it's so interesting because um, with the pandemic, I got so busy, and sorry, the light is coming through because I'm in the desert, and so it's just right now coming like this. But it is, I often think about what you just said, that, you know, talking on the cell phone, like, how does that happen? Right? How, like, the mechanics of it or whatever, how does that happen? And yet, and people probably 50 years ago would have doubted that that could be, but it's the same sense of the spiritual work and the connection that takes place without, that you and I can connect on a soul level and a heart level. How does that happen? And yet it does. And so I have to have gratitude actually for this age of electronics, because it really does open up our mind to the possibilities, right?
Yes. And who knows what will happen in 10, 20, 50 years from now. I think things are, well, I would say hopefully getting better.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Okay, so you do reading. Well, you do. Tell me everything that you do, and then you're gonna bless me because I wanted one of Donnie's scarves, but couldn't choose because he has quite the collection. And I'll just say this other. This is on a side note also. But when I'm driving around, I listen to chanting. That's just one of the things that makes me happy. And I was seeing like who you've done some of your scarves for, and of course, they're the people that I listen to when I'm driving, and actually it's like when I'm even like when I have my Pandora on, it's listening to chanting music. And so
Right.
that is who you create your scarves for. And that again was just like, for me, another solid connection. Um, but tell me more about what you do.
Well, let's start with the scarves. You mentioned that you listen to the chanting of the music, and I assume it's Deva Premal,
Yeah.
some of those beautiful, divine artists who give us all these blessings by their sounds. Then there is Angel Guide, Diana Cooper,
Mhm.
and many other beautiful spiritual, teachers and healers who came to appreciate the energy that is inside the scarf. So when we say scarf, it's obviously not just a fashion object. It is a spiritual technology. It's a talisman, a wearable kind of light that you bring into your field. So when you wear the scarf over your body, you put it onto your light body as well. And the energy that comes from the colors, the energy that is inside the scarf by what I add to the scarf, by my prayer, by my blessing, all of that then is going to be saturating your aura. It's going to go to the chakras, it's going to be distributed throughout the meridian channels. And so people feel, especially like sensitive people or people who work a lot with energy, they feel that their intuitive channel opens. They feel that there's also a kind of a cloak of protection. So there are less like negative energies going to be like attacking or attaching to ourselves. There will be, a shift in all levels basically. And you can see like the scarf behind me. That's the Angel of Atlantis scarf. So I have many, many different scarves, and I recommend people to choose one that's calls you from your heart. There are different scarves for different intentions and connecting to different like places of power, for example, Atlantis, or ascended masters, for example, Kuan Yin, the divine Buddha, divine mother energy. And so people can then take these wearable blessings, similar like Orozoma, but Orozoma is also great. It's a small bottle, and you can connect with the colors and receive energy from that beautiful essence. But the scarf, I feel, can take you a little bit more flexible. So, for example, you can wear it when you go to work, or when you do your online meeting, or
Mhm.
when you sleep. You can put it over your bed as a protection. Here in Japan, there's a family, and they have a young son who has insomnia, and he couldn't sleep. So they tried everything until they found me, and they got the Divine Mother scarf for their son. As soon as he put the scarf over the bed, he was fine, and the parents was like, "Wow, finally he can sleep. We're so grateful." And so for sleep, even we can receive the energy and feel that more inner peace or protection that comes with it. So many ways to use it. You can hang it in your room to charge and shift the energy of your space. Of course, obviously, we want to wear it when we give energy healing, because once our own light is more harmonized, we can see a before and after with aura photography. So when we put on the scarf, there's a visible shift by aura photography, where the chakras and the aura is basically shifting to a higher frequency. Let's say aura is more green right now, and the different chakras are, there's also a sequence, like how activated or how flowing the energy of each chakra is, right? So, for example, some people have like issues with speaking their truth and with being seen. So maybe the throat chakra is a little bit like smaller, blocked, not as open and expansive. And that can be also seen in aura photography. And so when you put on the scarf, and the energy is received and distributed through your light body, we can then take a photo with our photography, and we see the shift, for example, from the green then more to turquoise and purple, which is on the spectrum. Green is more in the middle, it's like a neutral almost, and it shifts more than to a higher spiritual frequency. Obviously, purple is a very spiritual color, as we know. But also we can see that then the chakras are also harmonized in size, so they're going to be in sequence, not like all like, oh, this is bigger, this is smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller. It's all in beautiful sequence. So that's about the scarves, and I know we're going to have a little reading for you in a second.
So I was trying to move so the light is more.
But before I get there, there is of course much more that I do. And I try to pick like maybe one more thing, if that's fine for you.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Great. So my other passion is to channel, to get the message of the spiritual guides from other people, to connect people with their guides, with the messages of their guides. And when I mean spiritual guide, it can be an angel, it can be an ascended master, it can be a guide in animal form, or beyond any form, can be from the stars. So many different guides came through, and they all bring their blessings and gifts to people who are ready to receive. And I do these in private sessions, or like in a longer program, where they have one lady recently, she went through a program with me, and we found that there's a spiritual name that came from her guides, and she found her spiritual family, like a support family that's working with her now to take her own work and her art to the next level, to connect deeper. So that's another way I love to connect with people. It's, very direct, one-on-one, and you can go deep, and the messages will come. And that's definitely something that will continue. And of course, the scarves, there is a new collection. I feel that might be also something very good for you. I'm sorry, I already tuned in with you.
Yes,
Uh,
fire away.
so the way this works is we're gonna take a moment in silence and I connect with you. And I invite the viewer also to just take a moment in silence and connect with your inner heart and the light that shines within you. And let's take a deep breath together. And another deep breath. You can open your eyes at any time. So, what I see from my perspective, tuning in with you, I felt there was a huge opening on the solar plexus. I saw a lot of yellow in the center of your body. And based on that feeling and that message that came through, it will be very good for you. I know you work with energy as well. And so we know that, yellow on orange, that direction is solar plexus, personal power, energy, seems to be doing very well. And we also know that that color is also an indication that, joyful energy, there is a higher function for the mental capacity, like brain functions, are stimulated with yellow and orange color. But what I sense is there's a little bit of another two colors that would be very good for you to balance that out with, what's going on right now with you. And that might shift later, but it's kind of a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
So to balance it out, I feel there is two scarves that I would recommend, and these are based on also the colors that are really good for the spiritual healer, the intuitive channel, the groups who are working with energy and who want to connect deeper. So when our spiritual channel opens up more clearly, of course we can then be of more greater divine service to the other side. So the first one that came is called the Stargazer Scarf. And I'm gonna share with everyone how it looks like. So here is the Stargazer Scarf. And you can see that it has this very beautiful deep blue, little hint of deep purple, a bit of a yellow, and many, many stars in it. And this Stargazer Scarf is special because it carries the energy of peace and it connects us to the stars. And especially it expands our intuitive channel. You see there is on the frame, like around the scarf, there's a mantra written as well.
Oh, nice.
And this mantra is from the ancient culture that predates the uh, area in Iran. Before Islam, there was an ancient culture called the Zoroastrian. So they built pyramids, they did all the stargazing there to download the spiritual energies and to connect with the stars. And from that culture comes the mantra, which translates to divine thoughts, divine words, and divine actions.
I love that.
That's the guiding principle of their philosophy. There's like the core principle of their culture, to be in alignment with divine thoughts, words, and actions. And so this scarf is charged and blessed with a small stone that fell down from heaven and came to me. And also with the energy of the stars blessing and guiding us. So it's not just expanding the intuitive channel, it's also connecting us with the guidance of the stars, right? So when we look out to the stars at night, we can feel there is connection, there is this infinite space, and we're not alone, obviously. And so that's the stargazer scarf. Would be very beautiful in addition to what's going on with your inner light.
I,
And
and I have to tell you, so I'm working on writing a book right now.
mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, today, well, it's just like, it's so right now that part, like my creative stuff and doing my words and really putting a lot of energy into that. I mean, I write a lot anyhow, like when I blog and do stuff like that, but now I'm putting a lot of energy into a book. And you're absolutely right. I mean, that's a big focus of how my energy is right now,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah, so you could, if you wanted to, you know, before you start writing, you put on the
Yeah,
scarf, you invoke your sacred space, you connect with your intuition, and then you start channeling and writing and
yeah,
going into the space. And I know that, you know, for example, people like myself too, I don't wear very colorful clothing when I walk around the city or so. You know, I usually wear whites or more muted colors. So, and that's, I think, almost for most people like that. But the scarves sometimes are very colorful because we can use them like on and off.
yeah.
The effect of the scarf will go to your light body within 7 minutes. So you don't have to wear it for the whole day. You can if you like, but it's more like an energy boost and very, very quick.
I love
The next one that I felt was also very lovely, of course, is Kuan Yin,
it. Mm,
Divine Mother, the beloved Buddha of enlightenment and unconditional love. And this one, you see, is a big difference, you know, in the color and intensity versus the Stargazer. This one is so pure and so soft energy, just like a very gentle cloak of protection that is embedded also with the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum.
mm,
Hail to the jewel in the lotus. And so there is an energy that we worked here with this scarf, and it's a co-creation with the intuitive healer Birkan Tore, where we channeled first a vision. We connected and meditated with Kuan Yin, and she gave us this divine design template that I then translated in an artistic way to manifest this image that we received from her onto the scarf. And so there is yeah, a lot of love in there, and of course the energy of love always heals, it always nurtures us, always protects us, it opens our intuitive channel as well. And all of that is, yeah, something we can, I think, is timeless, just to be enjoyed in the embrace of the Divine Mother whenever we need. That's something really, really, really beautiful to be in. Yeah, so these two would make also a lovely companion. You know, it's like you have the blue stargazer, the deep intuitive, like infinite space, and then I feel like Kuan Yin is a bit more grounding. It's like,
For
hey,
sure.
here you are. You know,
Absolutely.
it's like you can imagine the energy field of the Divine Mother holding you. You're like the child and she's embracing you. You're being held in a space of unconditional love. And where the stargazer is more for like that travel and that downloads and like you go into space and go on a journey perhaps. Divine Mother is more of the being held, just like a real mother holding her child with love. Um, yeah, that's a little bit of a different vibe from those.
Oh, I love it. I'm gonna have to think tonight. I'm gonna give myself until tomorrow morning and then I'll order one because I've been waiting. I just couldn't decide. So this is really helpful. And I know that it will help me with my book because it's kind of, I don't know if you get this way, but when you have several things, and then I'm also traveling tomorrow, that's a piece of it. So, so when you've got several things up in the air,
Yes,
you're
and
you're a little bit you're not as grounded and certainly that's how I feel today. It's how I've been feeling the last few days for sure.
interesting. Yeah, and you know, for everyone who decides to adopt one of my scarves, it's like they're like my children. I'm the creator, and there goes a lot of love into these. They are made with love in Italy, and you know, it's a lot of beautiful energy that goes into this. And I'm also very happy then to receive your personal, you know, requests and intentions for blessing the scarf. I know you
Oh,
mentioned
nice.
writing the book or you know feeling more grounded. You can then send me a note, and I know what to add to the scarf for
Oh,
you.
perfect.
So it's not a copy paste thing. It's all
Yeah,
based on individual energies and recommendations.
I
Yes.
love that. It's definitely for my book and to reach the people that I know it'll help, right? Just the same with your scarves, right? You want it to reach the people that it'll have, that it expands, that allows the energy to expand, and that's exactly my wish, my dream for my book. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I feel like, you know, most people who are watching right now, it's probably also their wish from the heart to share, to contribute,
Yes.
making a difference
Yes.
to together we can build a more beautiful
Yes.
world. And it's not just me, it's us, right? It's
Yes.
us
It's
together.
so true. I mean, I'm sure, absolutely, because I'm sure the people that you meet and the people that I meet, that's it. It's how can I do this? How can we expand? That you're so right. And the fact of the matter is that we already are, right? We already are. We've already created, which I love. So I have a question. So you, Diana Cooper, you're obviously familiar with her work. She's used your scarves. So she works. I think you have a scarf with unicorns. Tell me about, because I have to be honest, I know nothing about unicorn energy or dragon energy. That's like brand spanking new to me.
Well, the unicorns and the dragons, they came also to me last year, so it's a little bit new as well. And so they are part the scarves Diana Cooper already is enjoying in advance of everyone else.
Yeah.
Kuan Yin, Solar Dragons, Archangel Michael, and the unicorns. Yes. So yeah, so she's enjoying those already. Solar dragons. It's very interesting that this comes up. Well, we have a very deep yellow orange color with the solar dragons. Of course, the great central sun is the eternal light that shines from the heart of the universe and touches all other hearts. And with that energy also is, you know, the coming the energy of the solar dragons, it's the divine dragons, which are, I guess, maybe a little bit more new to American, European cultures. Here in Japan, dragons are everywhere. They have been divine guardians and bringers of good fortune and protection for people living here since they can remember, and they are everywhere in the temples. There's a place I'm going on to do my prayers later, which is about 40 minutes from outside of Tokyo. And it's a Zen temple founded in the 1300s. It's ancient. And they have a beautiful meditation hall where on the entire ceiling there is a huge solar dragon painted in a beautiful way. It's like a kind of calligraphy style. And yeah, so the solar dragons, they are very great for shifting and transforming
Mm.
any energy blocks, right? It's the transformational power of light that just shifts us from a dark place to a lighter place.
Oh, lovely. I love that. Beautiful.
Yeah, that just in a nutshell, there is much more on the website, but yeah, the solar dragon is really good for people who feel they need a little bit more uplift and more joy and
So it's
shift away
transfer.
from a little place of feeling like stuck in a way.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
I think that's beautiful. Just a quick question before you go on to the unicorns. Are you able to take pictures in the temple you're going to today?
I am going to take some pictures, but out of respect, because inside the temple is the
Yeah,
altar and
yeah.
they are enshrined divine beings there, so it's respectful not to take a photo of
Yeah.
the Buddha figure of the shrine at all. So I don't do that, but I can take photos from outside of the
Okay.
building.
I'm excited to see
Yeah,
that, and I totally understand that about the picture. I mean,
right.
certainly understand that, but I'll be excited to see the pictures because I saw you post about that probably before you went to bed last night. But no, I'm excited. Okay, so tell me about the unicorn.
So unicorns is a really high frequency. They're said to come from, deep space, from the stargates of Lyra. So it's unicorns. The way Diana Cooper explained is like enlightened or ascended horses that, through evolution they increase their spiritual kind of how to say, evolution. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess we humans are also in a spiritual evolution, so maybe someday we'll be unicorns, but maybe not. Anyway, so the unicorns is a very, very high frequency, and they're about ascension, divine beauty. And when you wear the unicorn scarf, it connects you with, of course, the unicorns, but also with the elementals. So the fairies, the little nature spirits around you, they're all, we found when you wear the scarf and go out in nature, they're all going to respond to you. They respond to your vibration with the unicorn scarf. So it's about the communication with the nature spirits like fairies, but also it's the unicorns in general are really wonderful to, well, what I've seen in my private sessions so many times for when I'm going on a journey with the client is they often receive a unicorn guide, and the unicorn comes, and the horn is actually like kind of like an antenna and receiver of
yeah.
spiritual energy, and they often then touch the chakras of the
Oh, cool.
person to download the frequencies, to download the codes. Whatever you need is going to be downloaded into your light body from the unicorns. So it's really this, yeah, very beautiful guide that helps us on our ascension path.
I love that. So interesting. And yeah, I love what you're doing. Um, yeah, and I think I know what scarf I'm gonna get. And it's so interesting when I was looking at your scarves, the one because I was always drawn to like orange and yellow, but I also like pink and purple, right? And so like trying to figure out what
I
one I
know it's
love.
not so easy to just choose one, but yeah, I mean, it's an investment also, I feel, because they are not, something that can be bought like every day, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, and also they are like limited in print,
yeah,
so there are many scarves that are not available anymore, and they're when once it's gone, it's gone. But please just follow your heart and choose
yeah,
something that speaks to you. And if it's something else that I recommended to you, that's totally fine.
yeah. Well,
Always trust in the light of your heart.
I guess to me, it reminds me of it's part of for me. It will be part of a practice, right? Like I have some beads that I wear. I don't have them on right now, which I usually do when I do work. But I also wear them like because I love hiking, and I also wear them when I go out hiking because that's like my happy spot. That's like where I connect. It's where it's the first I meditate and I exercise in the morning, and it's my it's what charges me, right? And so I love having those. It's my connection, and so your scarf will be part of my practice when I meditate, when I work with people. So won't take it out hiking, but it will be in my. It'll be definitely part of my daily practice. Um, okay, so I'm just curious. Also, how did you? How did this unfold for you? Like, did you have I'm assuming you probably had an inkling as a kid, but then did you have something that really unfolded in your life? Was there like, was it gradual or was it just like, oh my God, this is who I am?
It's a good question. So, of course, things need to grow and unfold in divine timing. So for me, it was always clear from the beginning that I wanted to help other people and I wanted to create something beautiful, but I wasn't really sure what it was in the beginning when I just finished high school. So I tried out many different things until, where I really believe this mantra that is dear to my heart, which is I'm always divinely guided and protected. That this mantra has served me so well. Not just as an affirmation that we repeat, but it's an energy that really
Yeah,
to focus and to be guided. And so when I came to the US, and it's a real long story, but maybe for another time. But when I came to the US, I dived into the Native American energy healing and wisdom traditions, and I was fortunate to have, had the chance to experience many ceremonies and very deep spiritual experiences when I was, about 10 years ago. And this kind of opened a big door, right? And I knew then from my heart that what I had to do was to make a gift to the world, gift of love. And so even my name, Doni, means gift, and Amoris is love, so gift of love. And how all it became more clear and clear, that's this journey, like one step after
yeah,
the other. But I had this big question. I studied photography in the US, in Virginia, and my question was, how could I use photography to make spiritual energy visible? Because I've seen it in my inner vision. I've seen and I had profound energy openings, but how could, as an artist, how could I make that become visible? And not just visible, but also, and give people an experience that
yeah.
is similar to that without, uh, meditating very much, I guess.
Well, to
just by
have the experience,
enjoying the artwork.
yeah, yeah.
So I experimented a lot, and then I came to combine the Native American um, ceremony of making a medicine wheel,
Mhm.
with rocks and crystals and things
Yeah,
from nature. You arrange this. It looks like a mandala. If people don't know medicine wheel, it's looks like a flower mandala in a way, and I started to make these with intentions to channel healing energy, And then I was like, oh, how about I photograph that and see what energy comes through and how I can, make it become visible to the normal vision. And I arrived after many, like a year of experimentation, until I arrived at what I call the soul image. And a soul image is um, it's an energy photograph that is beyond any shape or form. So when you look at this image, a photograph from the mandala, you don't see, oh, there is a crystal, oh, there is a flower. You see the pure color and light information that comes through. And then I start to layer this image, I start to mirror things, and there are a few things that are then happening to open a portal, open a gateway, that this image is then a image that connects us to the inner light of our heart, is a kind of divination tool. So when we gaze into the image, we can see shapes and forms are becoming more clear. We see patterns. We see, oh, there's maybe this looks like a dragon, and then information will come through this way for each person based on their individual makeup, what they have experienced in their life. They will see the image a little differently than other people. And so these soul images then happen to first be like an art print, something you can hang on the wall. But then later I was very fortunate to manifest a meeting with Louise Hay.
Oh, wow.
We came to connect and be friends. And it's a wild story too. But basically I just didn't know her, and I had this little project of a book with my photography and some quotes, poems from another friend. I wanted to connect with her because, yeah, she's out there. And once I saw that her core principle is teaching is to, that every word and every thought we think or speak creates our future. I was like, okay, let's try that. Let's try that and see if I could meet her this way. So I was like, oh, dear universe, I really like to meet Luce. I don't know how, I don't know when, but please make it happen. And I did this for like 1 week, Monday to Friday. And on Friday, I was like, oh, maybe I need to be a bit more proactive and, do more stuff, just something else, like go on the internet and search, see where she lives, if I can find an email address. Obviously, I needed a way to contact her. And I found this really weird website. It's like, oh yeah, it's like here, if you pay her $6.99, we give you her email address. I'm like, okay, credit card. Well, if it's spam and it's not too expensive, and I can, always cancel my card or block it. So I did it, and voila, I got this really official looking email. I was like, oh, what do I do now? And so I talked to my partner, and we decided to, before I contact her, we decided to book a flight to San Diego over a weekend. And I looked for the top rated restaurant in San Diego, the place where she used to live. And so I booked the table for 3 on Friday night. And then Sunday evening, I sent her an email. I said, yeah, love to meet you. We're coming on this and this day, and we have a reservation here. If you like, please join us for dinner. If you don't have time, maybe you have time for a drink. Next day, got a reply from her. And so, oh, so lovely to meet you, but I don't have time to go to dinner with you. How about you come to my place for 30 minutes before you go to dinner? And by the way, the restaurant is just around the corner. It's my favorite place.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, let's go. So, anyways, she then invited us to her home. It's like, private elevator up to the penthouse and beautiful Buddhas on the entrance door. And it's really lovely and quite yeah, casual in her yoga clothing, all bright pink, magenta color. Lovely lady opened the door, and it was the beginning of a very beautiful and important connection for my work, because she inspired me to take my work to the next level, from printing the soul image on paper to printing it on fabric and making it wearable and
Interesting.
receiving the energy in that way.
I love that. But what I love about that story is how you you wanted something, you wanted to meet with her, but you also took the action step. So not only were you putting in your words that you were going to meet her, but you also recognized, hey, I'm inspired to do something to make this happen. And that's I mean, that's it. That's what it takes. And I love that story because that is proof.
It's a very good story for everyone who's
It's
watching, wanting
it's
to
a
manifest
great
something.
story
You
because
can learn from it.
it's not just that desire, it's like it's that desire and it's that knowing and it's that inspired action, and that action is wrapped up in the energy of miracle, right, of a miracle. It's like that's it. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
the story.
I recommend that process, to be clear on your intention and to have something of divine service coming from your heart. It
Yeah,
has to come from the heart, and it has to be, from a place of integrity, and
yeah,
can't be like, oh, I just want to meet that person to make more money.
yeah,
Doesn't work like that way. And then you send out that request to the universe, and then you repeat it, and at the same time, or shortly after, you are also then called into divine action. So
yeah,
just send out your prayer and do nothing doesn't work, obviously. So we have to have that commitment. For example, I booked the flight
yeah.
and the
And I
restaurant,
love
and
that.
I was like, okay, I'm going anyways and enjoying my life there, but would be great to meet her. But who knows if she has time. But you have to have that faith and that commitment first, and then the universe will conspire and support you if it's in alignment, of course, and in divine timing.
I mean, that's really what my book is about, is because it's like all of this is easier than we believe or we've been told. Some people know it's easy, but it's like it's easy because it's fun. It's like, booking the flight to San Diego is probably it's fun, it's exciting, and you're thinking about what the possibilities are. But you didn't limit yourself as to like, even if you hadn't have met her. I mean, you met her differently than you thought, but you always, all along, knew it was a good situation because you were putting the energy out there, and it was inspired, and you were, it was all about love and all about expansion and all about experience, and that's it.
Mm. Yeah, and sometimes we just need that little push of inspiration or clarity that we can receive from maybe reading your book, or wearing one of my scarves, or listening to the talk of another teacher. You never know where that spark of divine energy comes from that will really start something very magical for you, a journey of becoming. And when you trust and you're in a line, when you keep going and keep sharing from your heart. And also, I found, like, for myself, in the beginning I was all just like about like, oh, I create what I want,
Mhm.
right? It's just like free self-expression. I just create what I want. But later in my career I also found, it's good to consider the bigger picture beyond just what I want.
Yeah,
I resonate with. It's good to be in divine service and to include, expand more people into your field and create and share something from your heart for other people, what they need. what they are looking for. And if we have that sacred offering from our heart, and we go into our prayer and intention to get more support, to share it, and then step into divine action and commitment and faith, I truly believe we all have the chance to then really go to the next level, to share, to co-create with someone else, to bring then this gift into reality in a very expansive way. I really believe we all have maybe a few of those chances, but maybe not unlimited. But once the chance comes, I hope we're all prepared to take it.
Yeah, and I think it's, to recognize like how we support each other. For example, sometimes you support each other or you support others. Like when I get your scarf, you're supporting me, great, enormously as I create the book. But you also support each other maybe in a more subtle way, right? You're supporting people in a more subtle way. And I think that that's important for people to recognize that some of the way we, even if what we're doing is subtle, because we're not always, electrifying everything around us, right? So even if what we're doing is subtle, it still has enormous positive impact on those around you, right? We're not always, 100% supercharged, if that makes sense, right? Like every it's your intention of making a difference, your intention of sharing love, your intention of wellness. It's always important. It's always well received. The prayer is always well received. But okay, so Doni, I'm gonna put your information on, like people will be able to read it when this is posted, but just in case, how do they follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, so you're welcome to connect with me on Instagram, Doni Amoris. Facebook, I don't use that much. You can go to my website, doniamoris.com. Look forward to connecting with you. And thank you, Polly, for this beautiful time.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited. And then after you'll hear the recording stop, and don't go away because I need to give you one more message. But everybody, thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, like if you want to get hold of Doni Amoris and for whatever, just if you can't find something or contact me, I'll send you his way. I'm so excited, and I will post. I'm sure I'll blog about it when I get my scarf. But I'll definitely put a link on, if not my next newsletter, the following newsletter, which will have your information on that also. So people can watch this and contact you from that newsletter. And that's probably the one where I'll mention I'll write a blog mentioning this, because I'm very excited to feel the energy. I'm super excited about that, to see how what happens, right? I think I'm gonna wear, like, once I get it, I'm gonna write my blog in it, and that's the one where it'll be posted. The information will be posted. So very excited about that. So everybody, thank you for listening, and you can follow me on Instagram, which is Polly_Wirum, and my website is pollywirum.com, and you can sign up for my blog. And Doni's information, I'm going to put that, you probably have already seen it by the time you see this because it'll be on the video. But I appreciate you joining us. And Doni, if you have one message for them, what would be your greatest message, your one message that you would like to share?
Let the wings of your heart be the compass of your journey. Follow your heart. That's the only thing that matters. Wish you much love and light from my heart to yours. Thank you.
Awesome. And that's like a beautiful and simple, you can't go wrong message, right? That's perfect. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. And as you can tell, I mean, I'm sure there's no mystery why I really wanted to have Doni on my, to be able to get to know him and meet him and share with him. So thank you for tuning in.